This is The Fifth Estate, a conversation between young African scholars from the Fort Hall School of Government and Professor Mutahi Ngunyi. At the Fort Hall School of Government, we have applied our minds to the Ruto assassination claims. And we want to confirm to the country that, yes, there will be an assassination. But before we expose the plot, we want to tell Ruto not to insult our intelligence. He told us that a committee of 4 Kikuyu ministers, 20 permanent secretaries, and 30 CEOs were planning to kill him. And that this committee of 54 were meeting at the basement of a hotel to plan. In fact, the committee would drive to the hotel basement using chase cars and flags in full view of the public. And they did this to plan a murder. If this claim was meant to excite our national imagination, it only insulted our collective intelligence. If Ruto had told us that the notorious Artur brothers were back from Eastern Europe and their brief was to assassinate him, the country would have shuddered with fear. If he told us that these ruthless brothers are the ones who brought down a helicopter carrying his American consultants, we would have marinated in conspiracies and sympathy for him. But instead, the DP suffered from a severe poverty of imagination.
But wait a minute. To say that William Ruto suffers from a severe poverty of imagination is to misread him. In my view, Ruto is actually a political genius. He is in fact Machiavelli reincarnated. And this is what he was doing when he targeted the Committee of 54. Ruto knows too well that Uhuru is organizing the Kikuyus, and he is organizing them using this Committee of 54. If this committee succeeds, the Kikuyus will be ring-fenced. The free-range access that Ruto has had in Kikuyu country will be over. Finito. To stop this from happening, therefore, Ruto had to make a ridiculous claim. He had to tell us that the Committee of 54 is an assassination squad. It is like Ngoroko in the Kenyatta succession of 1978. They have been constituted to eliminate Ruto. This sounded like poverty of imagination, but at the core, it is nothing but genius. By labeling the Committee of 54 a Kikuyu assassination squad, he bastardized it. Bureaucrats sitting on it are now having wasi-wasi. And with one claim of assassination, Ruto has paralyzed Uhuru's vehicle for consolidating the Kikuyus. The Committee of 54 has acquired the status of the Ngoroko assassination squad in the Kenyatta succession. If this is not genius, what is?
According to the Nation of Islam, Malcolm X was not radically anti-Muzungu. He was radicalized by an Indian known as Pio Gama Pinto from Kenya. They were both assassinated. In Kenya, it is believed that government assassinated Pinto in 1965. But according to the Nation of Islam, Pinto and Malcolm X were both assassinated by the CIA. Malcolm X was assassinated on February 21st, 1965, and Gama Pinto was assassinated 4 days later on February 25th, 1965. But because a background of acceptance had been created, projecting Jomo's administration as the assassins, CIA did it and got Jomo blamed for it. It worked perfectly. And this paradox is what Ruto has attracted to himself. It is called the law of unintended consequences. This law states that fear makes true what we are afraid of. And this is because thoughts become things and words become flesh. If Ruto is afraid of an assassination, he has created a background of acceptance for it to happen. His words could become flesh. But his assassination will not be done by a committee. It will be done by the invisibles. Then they will blame the Committee of 54, the way CIA blamed Jomo for Pinto's assassination.
Yes, there will be an assassination, and Ruto will be the one to be assassinated. In any case, every succession election in Kenya has always attracted a constitutional crisis and an assassination. The referendum will fix the constitutional crisis, and the assassination will fix the succession question. If Ruto is assassinated, then someone else will take over from him. In our view, what will take place is a political assassination, not a physical liquidation. But how will this happen? 1. Ruto has raised the political temperatures in the Rift Valley with his assassination claims. Anxiety is high, suspicion is back. The ground is swelling for pro-Ruto conflict. 2. Pro-Ruto allies do not have to ignite this conflict. The people interested in his political assassination will ignite it for him. They will create the violence, pin it on Ruto, and then crucify him. Using this violence as evidence, they will then revive the ICC case. Do remember that this case was not dismissed. It was only frozen in time, with a chance of reviving it at a later date. This, in our view, is the assassination plot. The idea is to finish Ruto politically, using his own devices.
If Ruto thought his assassination was his liquidation, he is wrong. They will assassinate him politically, but keep his physical body intact. The idea is to make him a dead man walking. In this state of insanity, Ruto is meant to make mistakes. His followers are meant to engage in anti-assassination violence, and Ruto is meant to get the blame. If the ethnic violence is not dramatic enough, our hypothesis is that it will be assisted. With assisted and dramatic violence, there will be enough evidence to revive Ruto's case at the ICC. And that is the idea. Make Ruto a violence monger. But taking Ruto back to ICC is just a game of secondary thrust. The game of primary thrust is simple: the impeachment of Ruto. If Orengo wanted to impeach Ruto early in the year, he had no grounds. But if the anti-assassination violence happens, assisted or not, Orengo will have reason to do the impeachment motion. And this is how the Ruto assassination will happen. With the dynasties on the same side and money flowing like a nonsense, Ruto will get impeached before you blink. And that is the assassination plot. Take it or leave it.